Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Solana. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff now. So basically, within this, we're looking for further evidence that this corrective move down has completed. We are looking for that possibility that we could have a B wave low here. Alternatively, we could be forming a connector wave here and we could actually look to push down one more time. So what we need to be aware of is, if we start to lose this 1035 region, this move to the upside starts to become less likely. We did just move into the top end of this, but we only came down to that 382. So it's leading me to believe that potentially this is not a completed move and that we could actually see this play out as a WX and a Y within the space, and we could actually set another low here, well, lower than this 15 or 16 dollar range. So within that, we're looking for that possibility to come down one more time. So with this move though, for as long as we actually hold this low of the $16 range, we can still look for this potential to the upside. So I'm going to go over that first, and then we're going to talk about this potential to actually break to the downside here. Okay, so let's jump into that. So what I'm looking for here is basically the idea that we could still see this reject. Sorry, this is the bearish option. Uh, so basically within this current structure, I'm going to come into the hourly actually, so it's a bit cleaner. We were talking about this the last time we looked at the video. We did, however, actually come down and take this wave one high with this B wave here. So this is no longer valid because we're looking for that potential of an additional fourth and a fifth wave here. And this now, because we've come down too low, it wouldn't work unless we were to say that we actually had a flat correction in this as a wave two, and then potentially that would make sense as a zigzag for wave four, and it would still be valid then because we wouldn't have crossed. The problem that I have is is really choppy. So, it is for the most part we can continue to look for this potential to push to the upside here, but really what we'd want to see is this starting to move away from here. Otherwise, what I am looking out for is that possibility that we could just be having this whole move as a corrective structure, where this becomes a B, and actually potentially this is a W as a W and X, and then potentially a Y wave to the upside, where this would then become a W, this would be an X, and then potentially we're looking at forming this Y wave up. So this is why I'm keeping an eye out on this top channel line here. Potentially we could look to break down from here. But there is also the potential, we could argue that within this, if we counted this slightly different, we could count this move as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 up into this point, and then this is a wave two. So it is still valid, really, until we actually lose that low of that 16 and the zone of the 1729. I just need to reevaluate that. Uh, yeah, so that support zone would be slightly different now. Would be towards, as long as we hold this 1956 to the 1744, potentially we can still look for that potential to expand to the upside. And we could actually look for that 1-to-1, which is towards that $26 range. Or alternatively, if this does progress into something much bigger, what we could see is this third wave up here, this at this 3240 range. If we do get a push up into this range, that would potentially look to give us that edge for that bullish count. So the way that I would be looking at it, the thing is within this, it is a bit iffy, and really we need to see this move away if it is. And the way that I'd be looking at it is something like this. So within this current structure, what I'm looking at is the potential that we've had a 1-2 in here. We can count this as another 1-2 here potentially, and then potentially within this as well, we can look at this as a diagonal for another 1-2, and then we'd be looking for this as another 1-2. So the problem with this is there is a lot of, so within this sequence it would be very bullish, but it needs to start moving. If it doesn't, then it just becomes more likely that within this structure this is just a ABC move here. And then if we're going to look at it like that, potentially we could argue that this is also a three-wave move. So, this could actually look to complete already in here and then start to just break down and actually take these lows. So The bullish count remains valid. I am still looking for that potential of another fifth wave here for as long as we hold this 2286. If we lose this 2286, effectively what then I'd be looking for would actually be to see whether we find support in this box area here, this 2255 to this 2186. If we do lose this 2186, it starts to become less likely that we're going to see this continuation up. And then once we break down past this 2135 and then finally this 2105, that would invalidate this potential within this structure here. So the thing is with this, even if we do lose these lows, it wouldn't technically remove the ability for us to still have a push to the upside. We would have to just hold this lower region here, this $20.71 to this 1954. This could develop as basically this is an ABC, this is an ABC for a flat, and then actually we break to the downside for a flat correction as well. So this could just mean that this wave two moves over here, and basically we look to look for that third wave at another point at a later date, basically. So even if we do move down below these lows, it would invalidate this direct push to the upside here. However, really, until we actually break down past this 1954 and this 1870, it wouldn't really invalidate this on a bigger scale here, where we could just actually still be within this wave two as a flat correction. So within this now, basically, if we do actually push up one more time here for this fifth wave into this region here of this 2459 to this 2416, what I'd be on the lookout for would be the potential that this could then actually become another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 to the upside. The problem with this is it wouldn't really have unless we get further extension within this, it wouldn't have the strength to reach this typical 1618, which would be this 2930. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. This could then, we could form another 1, 2 here and then basically push up higher than this, 3, 4, 5. Then that would potentially give us that ability to get into this range. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Like I said, as long as we hold this 2135 and this 2186, we can look for that possibility of continuation up here. Though I would be careful around the top, this top channel here. This has rejected us before, and it's sitting towards the zone of this $24 area. So keep an eye on that zone. Potentially that could be an area we actually look to reject off of if we are going to look to sell off to the downside. So that's looking for that potential to move up. The possibility, though, is we could actually still have a Y wave to the downside to play out. So within this, basically what I'm looking for is rather looking at this whole move here as a corrective structure into this low. And then potentially, if we only form this as a three-wave move to the upside, we could actually still see one more drop to the downside. And like I said, that would potentially look to bring us back into this 1681 to this 1035 range. And we need to be cautious if we start to lose this 1035, because then we could start to argue we have different structure within here where we actually look to break down deeper. So I'm going to just come on. Let's go into the full hourly. Actually, just want to measure this out quickly. So I don't have the one-to-one that marked up, I don't think. No. Do. Some reason it's just not one. So that one-to-one would actually bring us down here towards this 1438. If we move down towards this 1438, that would satisfy the requirement for this as a W, X, and a Y, and could actually bring us back into this little zone of consolidation that we had over here. So keep an eye on that area. If we do look to break down, that would actually also be a 50% retracement here at this 1459. If it does look to push down deeper, potentially this 1266 to this 1218 range could be an area we look to visit. But like I said, until we actually break above this, until we actually break down from these levels, we need to just be cautious, because this could be extending out where even this we could count it potentially as a 1, 2, 1, 2, potentially another 1, 2 here. And now we're starting that third wave, and then it could actually really start going. But there isn't enough evidence yet to say that. So if we do move up a little bit more here, this 2424 is going to be an interesting area as well. That's a 0.786 retracement from this high. And that could actually bring us up into these levels here, and retest this channel and then look for rejection to the downside. So also keep an eye out on that level. Basically, what we need to see here is if we do move up one more time, I want to see if we maintain these lows. If we fail to maintain them, then, it becomes less likely we're extending from this point. Though, like I said, potentially we could still have this as a flat. So if we start to break down below these lows of this 1870, it starts to become less likely already. And then potentially, and then effectively, once we break this low at the beginning here, we have to just look at the fact that this was just a corrective move up and we're looking for continuation to the downside. So that's the importance of these different levels here and potentially where they could look to push us. So this is, yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what we're talking about. So, if I overlay these two with a bigger correction here, we can see that the 0.786 of the A wave is also up in the zone of this 2410 region. So that could actually so that's 0.786 of this A wave here. So in length, that would be the 78.6% of it. If we do move up into this area, that could be a potential target zone. Alternatively, this 854 is also quite interesting because it would be a challenge of these swing highs over here. And then finally, if it does look to push up even higher, 2582 would be a potential target we could actually look to see. So that's what I'm looking out for. It's going to be important that we maintain these key zones. Like I said, as long as we sort of carry on holding these support zones, we can look for that potential to continue up. In the immediate short term, I want to see whether we get this additional fifth wave up here. If we do, what I want to see from there is how that reacts. If we just form another shorter wave down like this, which doesn't actually cross this high point here of this 2297, potentially we could then argue that this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, and then could that could actually look to complete that corrective move to the upside and push us towards this 2587 range. So that's what we're looking out for. If we do complete this up as a 5-wave structure, once again, what we'll be looking for is to see how we react. If we just have a 3-wave move down, and let's say we do move up to this 2587 here, potentially we could find support again above this 2203. Failing to hold that 2203 would indicate that this move is completed and we could be looking to either break down or find support lower down in one of those other ranges that we talked about. But really, if we start to lose these lows, like I said, this 1870, then this whole move to the upside falls apart. So keep an eye on those levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT down below. Both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourselves. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.